Thank you for your interest in becoming a SAIL leader in Tennessee. My name is Sydney Shutro, and I am the Fall Prevention Grant Coordinator at the Tennessee Commission on Aging and Disability, working to expand the SAIL program across the state. SAIL stands for Stay Active and Independent for Life and is a evidence-based fall prevention program that focuses on strength, balance, and fitness. SAIL was developed by the Washington State Department of Health as a result of the Senior Fall Prevention Study. This orientation will discuss the history of SAIL in Tennessee, goals we would like to accomplish, an overview of the program components, the process of becoming a certified SAIL leader, upcoming leader trainings and training structure, program paperwork, and sustainability. Prior to our current funding, SAIL in Tennessee started through a collaboration between the Knox County Health Department and the East Tennessee Area Agency on Aging and Disability. Tennessee has 3 wonderful SAIL master trainers in Rachel Frazier, a public health educator at the Knox County Health Department, Cynthia Rocky, the Health Promotions and Wellness Manager at the East Tennessee Area Agency on Aging and Disability, and Terry Stewart, a retired nurse and enthusiastic and dedicated SAIL leader in Maryville, Tennessee. Initially, 14 SAIL classes were established in 9 counties, primarily in the East Tennessee region, at a variety of different locations, such as senior centers, faith-based organizations, wellness and recreation centers, and even an insurance company and an American Legion. SAIL classes can really be held anywhere. The Tennessee Commission on Aging and Disability received a fall prevention grant from the Administration for Community Living on July 1st, 2018 that will run for 3 years. During this 3-year period, we want to focus on rural counties that do not currently have an evidence-based program. We would also like to recruit 60 new SAIL leaders and 60 new SAIL sites across the state, as well as have nearly 6,000 participants attend class on a regular basis. SAIL is a 1-hour class that is offered 2 to 3 days a week. 3 days a week is highly recommended for maximum participant results. However, the standard for class is to be offered at least 2 days a week. One of the aspects of SAIL that participants like the most is that all exercises can be done standing or seated to help people at all ability levels improve their strength and balance to remain independent longer. SAIL class is broken into 5 different components. Participants will start with a 3 to 5 minute warm-up. Then they will transition into 18 to 20 minutes of aerobic exercises, followed by 10 minutes of mandatory balance exercises that have a dynamic and static component. Then they will do 15 to 18 minutes of mandatory strength exercises that focus on both the upper and lower body. And lastly, they'll conclude class with stretching and an education component that is led by the SAIL leader to promote healthy living. One of the key elements of SAIL to make it evidence-based are the fitness checks each participant does. There are 3 exercises during fitness checks that participants do within 2 weeks of starting a SAIL class, and then they are repeated every 6 months to track progress. The first fitness check is the time up and go, or the tug test. This is when a participant starts seated, they'll stand up and they'll walk around a marker that's 8 feet in front of them, walk back to their chair, and sit down. The participant will be able to do this twice, and the leader will count their fastest time and record it on a form. 6 months later, they'll redo this exercise and see if they can beat their initial time. The second exercise is bicep curls. Women will use a 5-pound weight and men will use an 8-pound weight, and the leader will time them for 30 seconds to see how many repetitions they're able to do. They'll record that number, and again, 6 months later, they'll repeat this exercise to see if their repetitions have increased. The last exercise is the sit to stand, which is where a participant starts seated, and they'll stand up, and they'll sit back down, and they'll stand up and sit back down. And they'll do that for 30 seconds as the leader is counting their repetitions. Then they will record it on the form, and again, 6 months later, they'll repeat the exercise to see if their repetitions have increased. There are 3 main requirements to become a SAIL leader. First, you must have a current fitness certification or equivalent degree. You do not have to have both. I'll discuss this further shortly. The second requirement is that you have a current CPR certification with a hands-on component. Lastly, you must commit to instructing class 2 to 3 days a week. It is a time commitment, so we highly, highly recommend that you be trained in at least teams of 2 to help decrease that time commitment and kind of share the responsibility. In terms of fitness certifications or degrees, I do want to stress again that you can have one or the other. You do not have to have both. So here listed are a few of the certifications and degrees that are acceptable for this requirement. However, if you do not have a certification listed, our SAIL Master Trainers recommend the Arthritis Foundation Walk with Ease program. This training can be done online and is $89 and is a great program to start a foundation before you start a SAIL class. If you have a certification or degree that is not listed on the screen and you want to see if it would meet this requirement, please contact me and I will discuss it with our Master Trainers. My contact information is on our website and it will be at the end of this orientation. We will be hosting 4 SAIL Leader trainings across the state in 2020. All trainings are free to attend and are 2 full days. Light breakfast and snacks, as well as lunch, will be provided to attendees. If you're not able to attend one of these trainings but still want to become a SAIL leader, there is an online SAIL certification option available through Pierce College at a fee of $199 and is estimated to take approximately 10 weeks to complete. We will also be starting to plan our 2021 trainings this fall. Our first training in Tennessee will be at the Dyer County Office on Aging in Dyersburg, Tennessee on March 10th and 11th. Our second training will be at the Knox County Health Department in Knoxville, Tennessee on June 4th and 5th. Our third training will be at the Upper Cumberland Development District in Cookeville, Tennessee on August 4th and 5th. And our last training of 2020 will be at the Jonesboro Senior Center in Jonesboro, Tennessee on October 20th and 21st. More information about these trainings can be found on our website, or feel free to contact me as well. There are 3 components of our leader training structure. First, there will be some classroom lecture to where you will learn about the background of the program and some more key components to helping lead your SAIL class. You will also participate in demonstration of exercises, especially those mandatory balance and strength exercises. You'll be demonstrating those. And by the end of the 2 days, you will also have led a component of a SAIL class. So kind of how our agenda works is on the first day, the leaders will be participants of the SAIL class, and our master trainers will lead you through the full 1-hour class and kind of how the 5 components all flow together. And then the second day, we get a group of 10 to 15 volunteers to come in, and the leaders will practice their fitness checks as well as teach a component of the SAIL class to those volunteers. So you'll really get some hands-on experience at our training. Once you've completed training, you'll be certified as a SAIL leader for 2 years. You'll be able to renew your certification every 2 years as long as you show you have continued to teach a SAIL class. No additional training or continuing education is required. Each SAIL implementation site will get a SAIL toolkit. I want to stress that individual SAIL leaders will not get this toolkit after training. A toolkit will be delivered to the site once a SAIL class has been scheduled to begin. The SAIL toolkit includes 25 copies of all program paperwork, 2 copies of music CDs, which is one of the components that participants really like as well, There is music to go along with the full 1-hour class. And you'll also get a lock with a key for security of program paperwork. Additionally, you will receive 8 pairs of ankle weights to be used to start your sail class. And lastly, you will receive any kind of support that you need from the state and our master trainers that we're reasonably able to do for you. So for example, one method of support many leaders take advantage of is doing a sail meet and greet before a class begins. This is when you can invite members of the community to learn more about the class, demonstrate some exercises, meet the leaders, and if there's time at the end, possibly to do some fitness checks. Other support includes additional copies of materials, and we also have a quarterly Sail Leader webinar where we discuss updates with the programs, any best practices or struggles that are happening across the state, and it's really a space to share ideas and good news stories about the program. There are 2 ways that you can start your sail class. The first and most popular way is to have a continuous sail class that goes on for an extended period of time. In other words, there is no end date to your sail class. Once you start class, it'll continue hopefully for years. About 90% of our current sail classes are done this way. This is why we recommend more than one leader be trained at one time to help again with that time commitment. And participants really enjoy that consistency of knowing I can go to a sail class, for example, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. for as long as I want to. New in 2020, we're allowing leaders to do 12-week sail class sessions, meaning there will be a start date and an end date. So this does give the leader a little bit of respite in case there's maybe only one leader at that location. And we highly recommend that you do at least 3 sail class sessions a year. That will help show a little bit more consistency for our participants who want to join. There'll also be more paperwork if you do this option. So for example, fitness checks will be needed to do at the beginning of your session as well as the end of your session rather than every 6 months. Everyone's least favorite part of really any program is the paperwork. While we understand it is tedious and frustrating, and we cannot emphasize the importance of these forms for the fidelity and maintaining the evidence-based standard of the program. We've done our absolute best to adapt to this paperwork to make it easier and not harder for our leaders. So we have 4 forms for participants to complete. There's a participant release form, a photo release form, a class participant enrollment form, and then a required SAIL participant information form that is an anonymous survey for our grant reporting. So the first 3 forms, the release form, photo release form, and enrollment form, you may have similar paperwork already at your facility. Just talk with me and the master trainers and we'll see if we can adapt so you don't have to do repeated paperwork. We also have 3 forms that the participants can take home and share maybe with their family members or their physician. So we have an Are You Ready to Exercise kind of screening to make sure that they're ready and able to do any exercise. We have a My Falls Free plan. And then there is a general SAIL information flyer that they can show people like, look at this great exercise class that I'm doing now. We also have a form for fitness checks. So the leader will be able to maintain records of progress for their participants as they complete those fitness checks. And lastly, we do require that participants sign a class sign-in sheet so we can record how many sessions and how many classes each participant attends. There is some required reporting. So those are just the forms that we have. For example, if you already have a sign-in sheet at your facility, just send us that sign-in sheet. You don't have to do 2 different sign-in sheets. But we do have some things that are needed to report to me on a monthly basis. So the first required paperwork is that class sign-in sheet. So we do have 2 different forms that we've created. Like I mentioned, if your organization already has a form, that form will work for a sign-in sheet, but we need that on a monthly basis. The other form that we need that only needs to be filled out one time is the participant information surveys. This is specific to our grant requirements, so our federal funders can kind of get some information about the participants. However, the federal government will never know your participant's name. They'll actually just be identified as a code. But these two required paperwork are extremely important to the fidelity and the funding of this grant. Excuse me. One of the questions we get asked most often from potential leaders is, how much do I get paid for leading a class? And the answer is, you don't. We don't have funds to pay leaders to teach a class. SAIL was developed to be a volunteer-run program that is free to participants. However, we know that is a very difficult ask. But we have developed two ways to sustain the program that may help leaders in this regard. SAIL, first of all, is a public domain program, meaning there is no license and it is free to do SAIL. There's no cost to start a class. We also have developed a donation policy where leaders are allowed to collect a reasonable donation, which we strongly recommend $1 to $3 per class. So this has to be used to support the SAIL class, such as leader support, equipment, maybe a facility rental, or purchasing additional supplies. And we ask that the total donations that you get per class is written on that sign-in sheet and that the leader signs it by the amount that they got in donations. We do not need to know where the money goes. We just kind of want to see how much donations the classes are able to receive. Our second form of sustainability is our partnership through Tivity Health. Many of you may know Tivity Health as Silver Sneakers. SAIL is considered a Silver Sneakers Flex program, meaning if you want to become Silver Sneakers certified, Tivity would be willing to reimburse you for any Silver Sneaker member that attends your class. So it is done on a payment scale, and it's approximately $2 per member that you could be reimbursed at a maximum of $50 reimbursement per class. You would have to become a Silver Sneakers instructor, and all that is done online through required courses. And through our partnership, Tivity has agreed to waive any type of fee to become a Silver Sneakers instructor. And you must also submit specific paperwork that they require relatively quickly. Before you implement either of these sustainability options, please be sure to check with your implementation site to make sure that one or both of these options is allowed via their agency policy. While it's available through our program policy, you also have to make sure that it's available where you're doing your class at. And that concludes our orientation, but I did want to give you a couple extra resources. So the first is our SAIL website. We do have a great video that was done by the Knox County Health Department that features a SAIL class at the Carnes Senior Center in Knoxville. It's about 2 minutes long, and I really encourage you to check that out. We also have our Fall Prevention Program profile that lists more of our goals and objectives for our 3-year grant, if you're interested in that. We also house the Fall Prevention Coalition, so if you're interested in learning about different fall prevention strategies that are happening across Tennessee, please let me know and I can add you to that coalition list. And we also have developed a new exercise opportunities for older Tennesseans map on our website to where you can find exercise opportunities across the state by county or by program. I've also included the link to the Washington State Department of Health SAILS program so you can get more information on how SAILS started. Also, I mentioned the Senior Fall Prevention Study. That is how SAIL was developed, if you wanted to check out that study. The link to the Arthritis Foundation Walk with Ease program in case you need that fitness certification to meet the SAIL leader requirements. And also there is a National Council on Aging SAIL summary that gives you a little more of an overview about the general SAIL program. Thank you again For your interest in becoming a SAIL leader, if you have any questions, please contact me at the information shown on your screen. We look forward to working with you soon and helping older adults in your community prevent falls.